the schedule. They have California in 2020-21. Now they have Oregon in 2019. So, we have a particular caller that wants to get away from scheduling difficult teams, but not so.
Yeah, that's not the way college football is going. That's not the direction it's going. And, I think over the next 5 years, you'll see it change even more, a lot of different things. We've already seen a lot of change in college football the last several years, but I think it'll get even greater over the next 5 years, maybe even consolidating down even to more teams into larger conferences, bumping those numbers up to 16 or even 18 teams. We'll see how that all plays out. Let's go to the phone lines and pick up our first caller. Terry, you're on Sportscall.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How you doing?
We're doing good, Terry. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, I guess. I've got something I want to say. Of course, I always tell everybody's got their own opinion. They can agree with it or, whatever. They're entitled to it. But in a Montgomery Advertiser, there's this guy, I don't know if he calls himself Dane Ranking or it's Dane Ranking. And he, on the front page of the sports page, Sunday, I'll express my opinion when I get through. But anyway, it says Saban and Malzahn should lead in flag ban. And he goes on to talk about that athletics are so big in the state of Alabama, they control everybody's opinions. And that Coach Saban and Coach Malzahn should come out, to ban the Confederate flag. Now, hold on a minute. They're not politicians. They're college football coaches. And as Coach Saban says, stay focused on the process. They don't need any outside, things to vary them off what they're trying to do. Number one. Number two is only the president of the universities can say anything about what you can wear in the stadium or what, because there is no Confederate flags anywhere in Bryant-Denny or Jordan-Hare. And if you want to control what people can wear in and whatever, that's not a coach's decision. And it would be totally ludicrous for either Coach Saban or Coach Malzahn to even stir that up. And anybody that would write that type article, in my opinion, is just totally intellectual bankrupt.
Well, I agree with you, Terry. I don't think, they're not going to go down that road. Don't know why they would go down that road. And even try to deal with a situation like that. I mean, that is a political issue. But I think what he's trying to say is that those two guys have so much power in this state. They really do, and really have an influence over their particular fan bases. If they came out and said something about it one way or the other, a lot of them would listen. I mean, I think that's what he's trying to say. But no reason for Gus Malzahn and Nick Saban to get caught up in all of this.
Exactly, because whichever way they say it, one way or the other, they're going to, excuse my language, they're going to piss somebody off. It's not a issue. It's not a issue at the University of Alabama or at Auburn University.
Yeah, it's not an issue. It is not an issue at all, and you don't want to create an issue. You don't want to bring light to it. And I think that's what's been done over the last week and a half, is that the media has really stirred it up, and a lot of the state governments have brought more attention back to it. So let them deal with it, and let's just let all of us concentrate on football.
Exactly. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make, is that you, like I said, you're intellectually bankrupt to even bring up that, because, what can you accomplish except, I guess, 100 years ago, my daddy told me, the more you stir, and I'm not going to say what he said, but the more you stir it, the more it's going to stink. Leave it alone.
No doubt about it. Terry, we appreciate your call.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You can be part of the program. 1-888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Look, everybody this time of year is trying to look for something to write about. It's been a hot topic, whether you're on one side of it or not. And he probably thought, look, if we want to put this thing to rest, why not let Gus Malzahn and Nick Saban come out? That's the dead last thing either one of those guys want to do is getting involved in this.
Well, you've heard Steve Spurrier come out and say that they need to take it down in South Carolina.
Well, that's fine.
And you've seen other coach, Bruce Pearl came out today and made a statement about it on an SEC teleconference about, he appreciated the history behind that flag, but just didn't think it was, thought that it had become nowadays something that is offensive to other people. And they needed to, probably not display it in a public way on government buildings. So, and I think that's probably, what this guy's trying to say. Look, it's not that you're trying to ban it so people can't.
Well, you can't ban it out there. I mean,
but not have it flown on government buildings. And look,
it's not
no matter
really,
how you feel about it. I mean, not like you said. I mean, and the reason he's saying it, just what you said, Nick Saban and Gus Malzahn have more influence than the governor of this state, and that's a fact.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's where the pinnacle of that article was coming from. I think that's exactly where he was going with that, and saying that these two guys are pretty powerful because the biggest things, whether anybody out there likes it or not, is Auburn and Alabama football in the state. That is what this state has to hang its hat on.
He's obviously assuming, though, that they would say, take it down.
Take it down. I mean,
what if they don't? What if they feel like, well, it's a historical, it's something that represents the history of this country and it needs to be up. So, I mean, he's assuming a lot.
How about let's get ready for football season and not quit worrying about the Confederate flag. I mean, seriously.
I'm all for it.
Let's just move on from it. 1-888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. I thought we'd do something fun throughout the show today. I know we got Brian Matthews on at 4:30, and we got several things we want to talk about. Might as well just go ahead and start talking about some of these SEC teams. I know SEC Media Days is around the corner. I want to go down some of the schedules for some of these SEC teams, and I want to ask you just off the cuff if you think that's a win or a loss for that team. Let's see what we come up with record-wise for some of these teams that – like a Tennessee, like a Georgia, we won't talk about Auburn and Alabama today, but we'll talk about some of these other teams. An LSU. All right, we know they're talented, but where are they going to fall this year? Texas A&M, man, we'll throw 4 or 5 of them out there, and let's see what you come up with record-wise, and I'll let you know what I think record-wise. So, and your input too. We'd love to hear from you out there. What do you think? And I think it'll generate a good discussion. As far as what we think these teams are going to be ranked. Because I think when you start breaking down the schedules, Andy, and you start looking at the teams on everybody's schedule, you start going, well, they got a great football team. Where are their wins coming from? How's Missouri going to fare this year? They've been to the SEC championship game 2 years in a row. I mean, do they go back 3 times? Is this a third time the charm for them? They make it back. I saw an early prognostication where they have Auburn and Georgia in the SEC championship game. That would be just a few weeks removed from playing the first time in the regular season. So you never know how it's going to play out, but I thought we'd have a little fun with that today.
Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. And when you think about it, it is. It's creeping up on somebody. Can you really believe that this year's half over? This year's half over. I mean, this is the last day of June here. And like you said, SEC Media Days begin July 13th. I mean, we're 2 weeks away.
You got your Christmas shopping list ready?
I don't do my I wait and do my Christmas shopping
on the 23rd.
Yeah, I go a little
23rd, 24th,
22nd.
Okay, yeah. Hide the hair, man. Yeah, you get out there way in advance on the 22nd.
But we'd love to hear from you. So give us a call 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free locally at 334-887-3401. And I also like to know. We'll run down these just real quickly in the next segment when we come back. But the schedule for the Auburn takeover of the SEC network, if you were in charge, if it was your takeover, what would the schedule look like? Are you happy with the games that Auburn's going to be replaying that they've chosen? Would you like to have seen some different ones? We'd love to know and get your opinion on that. Again, Brian Matthews will join us at 4:30, so be sure to stick around for that. We'll be right back with more Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon, presented by Home Place Mortgage, right after this.
At Charter Bank, we're committed to your pursuit of happiness.
I pursue happiness a kilometer at a time.
I pursue my happiness by the dozen.
My pursuit of happiness rules.
I pursue my happiness under the Friday night lights. Pick it up, fellas.
First, final exams. Then, my pursuit of happiness.
However you choose to pursue your happiness, Charter Bank is here to help. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Nestle is committed to delivering pure, great-tasting water to you and your family. And by pure, Nestle means every drop in every bottle of Nestle Pure Life is filtered through a 12-step quality process. And by great taste, Nestle means that they enhance their water with a unique blend of minerals. Stay hydrated and refreshed with Nestle Pure Life, which comes in a variety of sizes, perfect for anyone looking to live well. Right now, pick up 3 Nestle Pure Life Sports Cap bottles or 2 1-liter bottles for just $2 at one of 15 TK's convenience store locations.
Plumbing problems can be a huge headache.
Oh, boy.
And if you're dealing with them, you're going to want to handle them all with one call.
Oh, yeah.
Make that call to Benson Plumbing. Whatever or wherever the problem, Benson Plumbing can take care of it. They handle all residential, commercial, and industrial plumbing and drain cleaning needs, water heater replacement, sewer line replacement, general repairs on faucets, toilets, anything. Benson Plumbing will make the problem and the headaches go away. One call does it all. So call Benson Plumbing today at 887-6562 or see them on Stage Road in Auburn.
Need affordable packaging and shipping? Rely on the UPS Store. The UPS Store offers certified packaging services and shipping options to get your items there on time and intact for less. With our pack and ship promise, if an item packed by our associates and shipped via UPS is damaged or lost, you will be reimbursed for the item's value, packaging, and shipping. We also offer USPS flat rate shipping, but unlike at the post office, there's no waiting in line. How about faxing, printing, copying, binding, or laminating? There's only one store that offers so many options, so you can spend less time worrying. The UPS Store, 1550 Opelika Road.
Gotta get to Gil's Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gil's. Selection and price, got to get to Gil's. Gotta get to Gil's.
Did you know that Gil's Auto Sales now features the Prestige Selection at their North Lake and Opelika locations? Gil's Auto Sales now has over 100 Prestige vehicles in stock. Newer models, low mileage with bank financing available. Come see the Prestige Selection at Gil's Auto Sales North Lake location and their new Opelika location. Gotta get to Gills.
There's got to be a better way to get some grits around here.
You know the shrimp basket has cheese grits on the menu.
And they're open right now, and there's one just around the corner.
Well, let's go.
At the Shrimp Basket, we're steaming, grilling, and frying up all your favorites. And for you grit lovers, the Shrimp Basket is offering your favorite shrimp, fish, or oyster plates with our cheese grits. At the Shrimp Basket, we're steaming, grilling, and frying, and gritting it done.
Since 1946, more couples have trusted Ware Jewelers for their engagement rings than any other store. Ware's has an unmatched reputation for quality and value, incredible jewelry from top designers, and the region's largest selection of GIA certified diamonds. No other store offers you more in service, quality, and value. For your engagement, let Ware Jewelers help you find the perfect ring with a buying experience you'll love. Auburn, Opelika, Montgomery, and Spanish Fort. Ware Jewelers, where East Alabama gets engaged.
They say business can get downright dirty. At Advanced Disposal, we couldn't agree more. That's why we offer dedicated solid waste and recycling services designed specifically for business. We work hard to leave your business a little cleaner than we found it. Whether the job is big or small, we do all the heavy lifting so you can focus solely on your customers, because that's what business is all about. Advanced Disposal, always working to keep your business and community beautiful. Visit advanceddisposal.com or call your local facility and discover our full range of commercial services today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon. Andy and Brett here with you until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls and discussing everything going on right now. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free locally at 334-887-3401 on the Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline. I'm not sure if I got those. I'm not sure if I said that right or not.
What did you say?
I don't know. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free locally at 334-887-3401.
The good thing about radio, you can just redo it.
That's right.
And, we can just change it up however we want to. But let's go back to the AO Tourism Hotline and pick up our next caller. Shadow, you're on Sports Call.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Shadow. What's up?
Yeah, can I read you two schools? Can I read you their schedule and make my point?
Can you read the entire schedule? Yeah, I don't know why not.
Schedule.
Yeah, I don't know why not. Go ahead.
Okay, number one, this is Ohio State. Navy, Virginia Tech, Kent State, Cincinnati, Maryland, Rutgers, Penn State, Illinois, Michigan State, Minnesota, Indiana, and Michigan. They've got maybe 2 games on there.
Michigan State's
Oregon,
one of them. That's it.
Yeah. Oregon is South Dakota, Michigan State, Wyoming, Washington State, Arizona, UCLA, Washington, California, Stanford, Utah, Colorado, and Oregon State. Now that schedule, both of those schedules, is probably rated in the hundreds as far as schedule strength. Auburn has number 1, and y'all were saying that Shadow wants us to schedule easier games. Well, I would say absolutely, and I don't think you find yourself in the national title game scheduling the toughest schedule in the country. I will never change my mind. And let me ask a few questions about our latest defensive lineman loss. Did we just lose Quinton Williams to Bama?
The report was that.
Now look, a couple of weeks ago we had. Why are we getting 3-star linemen? I mean, they're not.
And now all of a sudden he is the next.
What is he all of a sudden great because he goes to Alabama?
If you want to get accurate, one of them was a 2-star.
Well, even more our point.
Well, my point is, if they're so important, why doesn't Alabama try to get them, and why doesn't Auburn sign them on offense? It seems like most of the big time schools are not interested in 1 and 2 stars. My question is, if we lost Quinton Williams to Alabama today, I was wondering if Quincy Williams is his father that used to play at Auburn.
It's a good question.
Well, do you know who his recruiter was?
I do not. Offhand, no.
How about David Marshall, the second defensive lineman we lost? Do you know who his recruiter was?
No, but I'm going to look that up. I'm going to dig and find out who was on those 2 guys. Somebody on the defensive side of the ball, probably Rodney Garner.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you're starting to notice some things. I mean, that is happening with specifically the defense.
You're saying, I know where you're going with this, Shadow. I mean, we've been down this road before. You feel like, and maybe other people feel like Rodney Garner ain't getting it done recruiting or on the field.
Well, I tell you what, what is better? I mean, did you think that Chiswick was a great football coach, or did you have to wait 3 years for the real Gene Chiswick to stand up and Gus Malzahn go to another school?
I think the real tale was told. I mean, I really do. I think after Gus Malzahn left, Gus Malzahn read the handwriting on the wall. He left in time to kind of salvage himself. And then he was able to come back and get the Auburn job. So, yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
Let's don't panic. Let's don't panic, Shadow. Let's wait 3 years and have to endure continued subpar performance on the field. I'm not being negative. I'm just saying what every Auburn fan will be saying in the future. Thank you.
We appreciate it, Shadow. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 334-887-34.
We did get the number 1 defensive lineman in the country in last year's recruiting class. We got the number 1 defensive lineman in the country coming to stay at Auburn for a week. I think next week or the week after on a recruiting visit, and bringing 2 other highly touted players with him. We're in on Derek Brown. We're in on several other defensive linemen right now. So I think you have to wait until at least the end of this recruiting cycle before you can determine to say, we're just not getting it done. I mean,
according to what I just pulled up here and what I was sent, Rodney Gardner was he was the recruiter on both those guys.
And again, 2 weeks ago, people were saying, and I think Shadow was one of them.
I'm just pulling up what Shadow asked.
Yeah.
He wanted to know who the recruiter was, and I'm pulling it up. It was Rodney Gardner for Auburn on both of them. And look, both of them are 3 stars according to 24/7. You can ask Brian Matthews here in a little bit more about it, but I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that, Andy, and where we are. We'll find out this year if we made some improvement up front on the defensive line. We got to make improvement. Got to have improvement on the defensive front. I think Shadow's got some relevant points in what he's bringing up. I think he wants Auburn to be successful too. I want us to be better on defense as well, and I think we've definitely made hires in the right direction on that. We just got to see it on the field, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And we're not going to wave a magic wand and all of a sudden have tremendous dominant defense. But I think you'll see a lot better defense.
Well, here's the problem with the schedule aspect of what he said. If you play in the SEC West, you're going to have one of the toughest schedules in the country.
Period.
One game is not really going to make your schedule over the top. Look, we're scheduling some really difficult teams like a Clemson, like an Oregon, but you got to recruit somebody. Teams. But just playing by the virtue of playing in the SEC, you get a lot of benefits. You get a lot more money. You get a lot more prestige. You get a lot more recruits. You get a lot more everything.
You get a lot more credits for wins.
But it's more difficult. It is a tougher road to hoe, and that's just the way it is. So
and look, I'm telling you, if I'm an Ohio State fan, and I look at that schedule, it's putrid. Who do you get up for? Michigan at the end of the year, Michigan State will be a good opponent, but that was one cream puff after another. You should go undefeated with that schedule. Now, Oregon's a little bit tougher. It's a little bit tougher. I got UCLA in there, and I got Stanford in there, and I'm not saying those are powerhouses by no stretch, but
are you saying Indiana and Illinois are not tough?
Breaking news. But it is a cream puff schedule for Ohio State. They should go undefeated. I know they're really good, but they ought to go undefeated with that. I want to go ahead before we go to break. Do we have enough time to do this? I think we got enough time to do the first team that we wanted to do. I'd just like to see your thoughts on this. To go down and we went through Texas A&M's schedule, Andy, and for everybody out there, when we talked about this, we kind of went down the list and kind of pulled up who we thought everybody. How the Aggies would fare this year based on their schedule, and where's everybody's wins going to come from? Who are they going to beat? They open up with Arizona State and Houston. What did you say there?
I said they'll win that game.
I said they'll lose. I think Arizona State's a team that a lot of people kind of discredits early in the season. I'm not real sold on what Texas A&M did last year, even though they beat Auburn. I got them with a loss. You got them with a win. Next game on the schedule, Ball State. Obviously, we both agreed that was a win. Nevada, week 3, we both agreed to win. Then they go to Arkansas on September the 26th.
I said they'll win that game again,
and I said they'd lose.
I believe that's another neutral site game.
It is at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. So I've got them. Losing that game. You got them winning. We differed the next week. Mississippi State comes in to Kyle Field. I've got the Aggies beating the Bulldogs. You got them losing.
I do. I think a big win over Arkansas. They're flat the next week.
Okay, open date. And then they have Alabama come in on October the 17th. Both of us gave the Aggies a loss there. Then they travel to Ole Miss on Saturday, October 24th. I've got the Aggies with another loss there. Ole Miss comes back as a really strong team. They'll be at home. I think they'll take care of business. You got Texas A&M going on the road pulling up. So
they're good for one road win, and Ole Miss is good for one stinker.
There you go. Then they have the Gamecocks come in on Halloween night, October 31st. We both gave them a win there over Steve Spurrier. Then they welcome in our very own Auburn Tigers on November the 7th. Both of us said that would be an L in the column for the Aggies, and Auburn is favored on the road by 1.5 right now. Finishing out Western Carolina, we both said a win there. Vanderbilt, a win there. finish up with the LSU Bengal Tigers, and we both gave them a loss there. You got A&M with an 8-4 finish. I've got them with a 6-6 finish. It's only 2 games off, but, I mean,
big difference.
It's a big difference in the record. So that's our first team that we break down there. So we'll continue that discussion throughout the rest of the show. We'll go ahead and take a break.
Yeah, love to hear from you, though. What do you think Texas A&M will do this year? 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free locally at 334-887-3401. Brian Matthews will join us when we come back. Don't go anywhere. More Sports Call presented by Home Place Mortgage right after this.
Home Place Mortgage of Auburn has the team to tailor all of your mortgage needs. With Home Place Mortgage, you get fast, personalized service from East Central Alabama's best team. Whether it's a new home purchase, refinance, or cash out, Home Place has all the options with fast turnaround and the market's lowest rates.
Hey, this is Eric McKinley with Home Place Mortgage. Call us for all of your mortgage needs.
Call Home Place Mortgage of Auburn at 334-521-7600 today. 334-521-7600.
Understand your insurance coverage before you need it. Ricky Holt and Jacob Holt, your local farmers agents, are here to help you get smarter about your insurance. After all, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Farmers is a good choice for your home, auto, recreational vehicles, life, and commercial insurance needs. Come see us at one of our 2 locations, Ricky Holt, downtown Opelika, or Jacob Holt, 704 Commerce Drive, Alexander City.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Big trucks control our highways with little to no regard for the rest of us. The U.S. Department of Transportation estimates that over 500,000 wrecks occur each year involving big trucks. If you or a loved one have been hit and injured by a big truck, then don't wait any longer. Call me today. I'll stand up to these big truck companies, and I will fight for you.
Call Kenneth Ingram Jr. now.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be provided is greater than that of other attorneys.
So, you're a business owner in need of durable, comfortable work uniforms and hats. Or maybe your high school won the section championship and you want to celebrate with custom t-shirts. Or perhaps you'd like matching tees and hats for your family reunions barbecue. At Lee Apparel, we offer you a full-service production facility right here in Central Alabama. From design to printing, every aspect of your order is taken care of here with real people. Find out more at leeapparel.com or call us at 888-533-6758.
Tatum Lawn Care wants to help you add value and beauty to your home or business, and they want to save you money in the process. Tatum Lawn Care offers affordable lawn care and landscaping services to residents in the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Services include tree maintenance, planting, pruning, hedging, blowing, mulching, leaf removal, spring and fall cleanups, and more. For an estimate, call Tatum Lawn Care at 256-329-6102. That's 256-329-6102.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply, locally owned and operated with over 30 years of experience, is very involved in giving back to our community. Our employees offer top-notch customer service with superior product knowledge. No matter the size of the job, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply have you covered.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply.
Over the years, SNS Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. SNS Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at SNS offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, SNS offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At SNS Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Lyman Ward Military Academy in Camp Hill, Alabama, known worldwide for programs and outstanding facilities designed to prepare young men for future success. Young men who are academically prepared for a rapidly evolving economy, morally prepared through character development and spiritual guidance, physically challenged by preparing for athletic competition, and prepared to be leaders in their careers through the structure of military discipline. Lyman Ward Military Academy, over a century of preparing youth for the work of life.
Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more on a land trip or cruise. Contact Ruta Lisa Anderson at Cruise Planners today. Why do the planning when it can be done for you? Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call 844-722-6342.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy Graham here with you for another hour and 25 minutes or so, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401. We'll pick up your phone calls in the next segment, but right now we're going to go to the AO Tourism Hotline and welcome in our good friend Brian Matthews from auburnsports.com. Brian, how's everything going today?
Oh, it's going great. It's always great to be on with you guys.
We appreciate you joining us. Excuse me. Let's just start off and talk a little bit about the news that came out today. Auburn will apparently open the season with the Oregon Ducks in 2019. Now, that's a pretty good ways away, but how do you feel about these neutral site games to open the season?
Oh, I love them, and especially, in the same seasons as, Auburn's got home games with Georgia and Alabama. It's good to have a good road game or a good neutral site game, a non-conference game. And I think this is a great matchup. I really like Auburn being matched up with a team in the Pac-12 or the Big 12, teams you don't see a whole lot of, in Auburn's schedule or in Auburn's postseason.
Certainly, I think it'll be the second time Auburn has ever played Oregon. The only other time, obviously, when they won the national championship. So, the team in specifically Oregon, you like that. It should be a very interesting and exciting game nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. It's a great matchup. It's a great TV matchup. It's a great matchup for both fans. It's sort of halfway across the country there in Texas. You're going to one of the greatest stadiums, football stadiums in the world. There at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington. So, yeah, I like everything about this. There's no negative to me with this matchup.
The other news today was that Quinnen Williams, former Auburn commitment, has now he decommitted several weeks ago, said today that he plans on signing with Alabama. Can you kind of enlighten us about what all took place there? I mean, why? It seemed like he was one of those guys that was so excited in the beginning and all for signing with Auburn, and then now he's decked out in Alabama.
Well, I think, his dad was a big Alabama fan, and I think that had an influence on him. And I think, since he decommitted to Auburn, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think Auburn sort of moved on. They've got 2 other defensive line commitments. They're still recruiting David Marshall really, really hard, and I think they're in good shape there. And then they're involved with a number of top national, defensive linemen, such as Marlon Davidson, such as Antoine Jackson, such as, the kid from New Jersey is really good, and Dexter Lawson, one defensive back of the country, plans to visit Auburn. So I think they feel like they're in great shape at that position right now, in recruiting.
Well, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, the offensive line, Auburn had a really big and very good offensive line class last year. They recently got a commitment from Berdarius Ham. How many more offensive linemen do you think they're looking to take in this class? I know, I believe they had a 5-star, I believe his name is Willie Allen, in just over the weekend or earlier this week. And I guess he's the kind of guy that you make room for no matter what. But what's Auburn looking like as far as the offensive line?
Well, they have signed a good group, but most of them have been guards and centers, and they really need to get some tackles, particularly guys that can compete for a left tackle position. So I would look for them to sign at least 3 more linemen in this class, and probably 1 or 2 JUCOs and another at least 1 or 2 high school guys. And they really need to get guys that have the potential to play a left tackle. And you're bringing a guy who's a left tackle, it looks like, and he gets beat out or it doesn't work out, he can move to guard or center or right tackle. But you got to get guys in here with potential to play left tackle, because it looks like Sean Coleman, there's a chance he could leave early for the NFL. Same with Avery Young, and that's really Auburn's 2 best tackles on the team right now, and really the 2 guys. Only 2 guys I know for sure that can play left tackle. They may have guys on the team now that can do it, but those 2 guys I know for sure that can. So they're going to look hard at signing 2 to 3, maybe even 4 more offensive linemen in this class.
is there was one obviously left tackle that coming from the junior college ranks, I know Auburn was pretty high on. Bowles, I believe is his name. He had some connection with BYU. Is that right? Is Auburn – I mean, is that like does Auburn have a really good chance with him?
I think they do. He came down for a visit, really hit it off in Auburn. Talking to him, he didn't name any favorites after the visit, but you could tell he felt like Auburn was a great fit for him. He was originally committed to BYU. He goes to a junior college in Utah, but he is interested in coming down to the SEC and competing at the highest level. He's friends with Chandler Cox. They knew each other from a while ago. The two families know each other, so that's another plus for Auburn. So I think Auburn's definitely in fairly good shape for him. He should be back for a visit this fall for a game. Another guy to watch out, JUCO-wise, is Dimitri Moore. He's from Mississippi Delta Community College. Auburn has not offered Dimitri yet, but I think if they do, he'll probably commit. He's originally from Huffman in Birmingham, very athletic offensive tackle. I think Auburn's in really good shape for him. And then you mentioned Willie Allen, the high school offensive tackle. Just a really incredible athlete. Reminds me a lot of Greg Robinson. Willie is from River Ridge, Louisiana, so he's been to Auburn now twice. Give it very, very high marks, and I expect him back for a game or two or three this fall.
Well, it's always nice to pull those guys out of Louisiana, if not just because they're great players, but to give it to LSU a little bit too. Well, Brian,
I didn't hear.
I said it's always good to bring those guys out of Louisiana, not only because they're great players, but to stick it to LSU a little bit as well.
Oh, yeah, and we know it's going to be a battle anytime you go for top kid in Louisiana. You got to fight off LSU and Alabama and Texas A&M, so it's going to be a real battle. But I think, with Willie, Auburn's got on him really early. They developed a great relationship, not just with the offensive line coach, Shibby Grimes, with Gus Malzahn and Rhett Lashley. And they also feel like he's a good fit at Auburn, really fits in well with their focus on the family atmosphere and those type of things. So I think right now Auburn, I want some of the team to beat, but I think they're in pretty good shape for the 4-star Routes 100 offensive tackle. We
got Brian Matthews from AuburnSports.com joining us here on the phone right now. The Golden Nugget comes out with their odds, as they did last year, about 3 months early on a lot of these games. And I realize that the whole point of betting lines is to encourage betting, and that's the whole point about it. But when you run down through these, to be quite honest, I don't have a problem with Auburn being an underdog at LSU because they haven't won there since 1999. I don't have a problem with Auburn being an underdog to Alabama because I think probably Alabama has probably earned that. But for Auburn to be nearly a touchdown underdog to Arkansas, I don't know. I find that a little insulting. I don't know about you.
Well, what's interesting, though? I bet a lot of Auburn fans are jumping on that. I bet that line changes a lot before we get to that game. But, Auburn has, it's had its experiences against Arkansas in the past. It's had some bad experiences, but a lot of those have come at home to underdog Arkansas teams. But I would expect that game to be a close game regardless, whether Auburn or Arkansas wins. And a touchdown favorite either way would probably be too much in my eyes.
Well, the SEC, it looks like Auburn will be taking over the SEC network tomorrow, or actually about 11 p.m. tonight, showing quite a few older games, actually showing some basketball games, some soccer games, some softball games, a pretty wide variety here. But looking down through the list, what games would you have liked to have seen? Some of the older games, or if you were putting together, it was your takeover, which ones would you have put on this list?
Well, I've seen most of the games on here. I would add some more of the, great games from the past, like a couple of 93 games, the 93 Iron Bowl, and then the 94, I guess it was, game at Florida, which was one of the most fantastic games I've ever seen in person. I've won that Patrick Nix to Frank Sanders pass there in the final seconds down there in the corner of the end zone down at Florida Field. I would definitely have those two on the list for sure. And then you can go back. I think they got the 82 Iron Bowl on there above the top, which was a great one, but so many other great Iron Bowls in history. And, that 86 one, the Reverse to Victory, was an incredible game, of course. That was the first Iron Bowl I actually attended. So that has a special part for me, but a ton of great games. You could really fill up a whole week to me of Auburn program if they allow them to do that.
Yeah, I think it would have been a great. I mean, I'm not even sure they can. I'm sure it has a lot to do with what's available in the vault and everything. But to show that 93 Iron Bowl, because I've had a lot of people have never even seen it because it wasn't on TV.
Right. Exactly, and it was a historical moment. It was a really great game and had that drama of, Patrick Nix coming in off the bench when Stan White got hurt and throwing that pass on fourth and what was it, 12, 15, something like that, to Frankie Sanders again. So, it's got James Bostic, one of the best players, I think, in Auburn history, making that great run, there in the fourth quarter to ask the game. It's just one of the better Iron Bowls Auburn's played and one of the most exciting and meaningful ones, too.
And being tackled and basically headbutted by Tony Richardson with no helmet.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you joining us today. Just kind of let us know what we can expect from auburnsports.com this week.
Well, mostly catching up on hot boards. Those are sort of a look at who Auburn's recruiting each position and the chances we think Auburn has to land those guys at this time. And then we continue to run up our top 30. I think we're at around 26 right now. So we'll run those out about once a day and then, keep up with other recruiting stuff. There's a few visitors coming in right now, but most of those visitors will be coming in late July when the coaches are back off of their vacation.
Well, Brian Matthews from auburnsports.com does a fantastic job covering Auburn sports year-round. Be sure to go and check them out. Brian, we appreciate it so much.
All right, thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Call right after this.
Kenny Knox tire over by 85. Exit 77 on Bob James Drive. Best tire prices for you and me. 756-8473.
Let the ASE certified technicians at Kenny Knox Tire Center handle all your tire, auto repair, and maintenance needs. Located just off I-85, exit 77, Valley, Alabama.
It's our summer trade day sale at Carl Gregory Ford. Your trade-in has never been worth more. And right now, get double trade value. That's right. We're doubling the value of your trade up to $15,000. If your trade's worth $3,000, now it's worth $6,000. If it's worth $7,500, now it's worth $15,000. Double your trade value up to $15,000 at Carl Gregory Ford in Auburn. Or visit us online at carlgregoryford.com. If you don't come see us today, we can't save you money. All rebates to the plus tax, title, and tax. Approved credit. Offer expires June 30th, 2015.
Hey, you want to party? Well, you're going to need something refreshing to drink. Lucky for you, the Cold Keg is now open on South College Street in Auburn. With over 60 different domestic and craft beers on tap, you can get your favorite beer to go by the pint, quart, half gallon, or gallon. Plus, they have tons of bottled beer to choose from. The Cold Keg is family owned and operated, and they'll make sure you get the ice cold beer you need to make your party red hot. Open Monday through Saturday in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on South College Street in Auburn. Call 826-BEER today and get your party started with the Cold Keg.
Introducing the mobile app you can bank on. The new Auburn Bank app brings hometown banking to your smartphone or tablet, so you can set up alerts for account balances and debit card use notification, access e-statements, transfer between accounts, make a mobile deposit subject to approval, quickly, easily, securely. It's 24/7 banking everywhere you go on your schedule. Download the new app from your device store. Auburn Bank, since 1907, your partner, your neighbor, your friend. Member FDIC.
This new Viva Locos menu, I'm using my super analytical skills to decipher its contents. In layman terms, that means I'm in the process of eating everything on the menu. Then I'll report. For the time being, I'll simply tell you some of what I'm sampling from Viva Locos menu and tempt your Mexicana side. Let's start with guacamole and chips. If you want to be a sophisticate, you can say guacamole. Your server will think you drove up from old Mexico just to eat at Locos. We have the fajita quesadilla with either chicken or steak. There's the fish tacos with your choice of fried or blackened fish, the chicken torta, and since torta is generally a hearty sandwich, this will be fried chicken on a sub roll with onions and jalapenos in the mix. And if you really want to go healthy, Viva Locos offers the chicken mango salad and chicken mango wrap. Most of these dishes come with a side of something, so I've got to learn how to say onion rings in Spanish and also determine if it's even polite to have French fries with Mexicana food. So lots of new reasons to meet me at the Moose. Viva Locos Grill and Pub.
Walk in today with $10 and walk out with a gym membership.
It's you nasty hour.
A lifestyle of well-being. When you need to refresh, revitalize, and replenish, it's always Resource Natural Spring Water.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy and Brett here with you until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll-free locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. Just caught up with Brian Matthews. Appreciate him joining us as he always does. A lot of good information there about Auburn recruiting, some of the guys that they are recruiting on the defensive and offensive lines. And, Quentin Williams goes to Alabama today. It's I don't know if Auburn lost him or he just, it was just one of those situations where he went in one direction and then decided to go in another. So that's fine. A lot of people wasn't really sure about it when he committed in the first place, so I'm not sure why you'd be upset now that he goes somewhere else. But we'll continue our breakdown of Texas A&M, looking at their schedule for the 2015 season. I had them going 8-4. Brett has them going 6-6.
Well, let's talk about the pivotal games that we differ on, and we start off with that Arizona State game. That's in Houston. That's going to be a game a lot of people are going to watch. I think Arizona State is a team that didn't quite get as much respect maybe as they deserved last year. They're going to move forward this year. I think they'll be as good, if not better. I like Arizona State in that game. You like Texas A&M in that game. That's one of the ones that we differ on. Then we differ on Arkansas. I mean, they have to go to Arkansas. I don't think Texas A&M can go to Arkansas and get it done. Well, I mean, yeah, that's right. They play at AT&T Stadium, but I don't think Arkansas almost won that game last year. They had a chance. They blew it. I think Arkansas, they're a dark horse by a lot of people's prediction, and I like Arkansas in that game. You like Texas A&M. We differ Mississippi State. You think you think they'll go on the road and lose to Mississippi State, and I think Texas A&M will win that ball game. I think Texas A&M I think actually Mississippi State comes to them, and I think that's a game that they'll win. I think Mississippi State has Dak Prescott, but I think they lost. I mean, obviously they lost a lot of guys around him. They still have De'Runnya Wilson, but lost a ton on that defense. So, and then the last one that we differ on is Ole Miss. I have them going. I don't have them going to Ole Miss and winning. You do. You have them pulling off a big win on the road. Not saying Texas A&M can't do it, but Ole Miss will be better this year than they were last year, I feel like, because I know Bo Wallace was the quarterback, but to me, I think it's addition by subtraction there, Andy. I think they'll get better at the quarterback position, and that's a team that scares me. Ole Miss scares me this year. I think they scared a lot of people last year. They really do scare me this year. They have recruited their tails off just like A&M, and I look forward to seeing how they end up playing too.
Yeah, without Bo Wallace, it is addition by subtraction.
I really feel that way.
I think that is probably a good way to look at that, although, Ole Miss has not had a great running game any of the years that Freeze has been there, and I don't expect them to have a great one this year. Their left tackle just got arrested for assault, albeit it seems like a situation
now
where
they're talking about agent was present. His stepdaddy said their agent was present.
And Tunsil would be a huge loss if he's not
massive loss.
Not
no
playing
pun
for them.
intended.
Yeah, but I like you. Dak Prescott. I think that game is what, week 4 or 5 that they played Texas A&M.
The week that
Mississippi State.
Mississippi, I don't know. Let's see. Let me look it up. It's going to be week 6.
Okay,
and that's before an open date. That's before an open date, but it'll be week 6.
Mississippi State would have played LSU. They would have played Auburn already. I'm not sure they win either of those games. So I think this might be a must win. And I think that's why I give Mississippi State an edge. They go on the road. They got nothing to lose. And again, I think Texas A&M's offense is probably good enough to win 10 games, but their defense is, holding them back. At least it has for this last several years. Now, I think John Chavis is going to make as big a difference as Will Muschamp.
Do you really think John Chavis will make as big a difference?
I think he will. I really do. And as far as how bad they were, I think they can. He's not going to be a defense. He's not going. They're not going to end up 50 or 60th in the country. They're going to get better. Yeah. I just think I think this year you'll probably see a pretty big leap forward. They won't be top 10, but They could be scary.
Well, we got them going bowl. I mean, okay, what's your high end for Texas A&M? 9?
I think absolutely. If everything went perfect, they win 10.
Wow, 10 wins is your high for A&M. My high for A&M is 8. I can see 7 realistically because I'm kind of going out on a limb on Arizona State, but I think their high is 8. I think the high they go is what you have them at. It's 8-4. You think they can go 10-2?
I think they're low 6-6.
I don't see 10-2. I just don't. Not on that schedule.
Everything's got to go right.
They do. And then look, we're going to record this, and we're going to look back at the end of the season. We'll even look at it as it goes and see if we're on pace, see where our predictions are. Next team up, Andy, the next hour, we'll talk about South Carolina. South Carolina Gamecock. Steve Spurrier has not had a losing season at South Carolina. Will this be his first?
He's had a lot of 500s.
He's had some 500, but he has not had a losing season. Will this be his first losing season at South Carolina?
That's a really good question.
We're going to break this down when we get back.
South Carolina, they got to find a quarterback. Obviously, you lose Connor Shaw. He's a guy that's been kind of carrying the team for a while now. So it'll be interesting to see. They definitely have some hills to climb.
This is a tough schedule.
That one at Georgia, that first, in the early week 2 or whatever. That's always one that it really determines both teams' season. So we'll break those down when we come back. That's going to do it for the first hour of the Tuesday Sports Call. We appreciate all of you joining us. Please stick around for hour number 2. We'll be right back with more presented by Home Place Mortgage right after this.
Big trucks control our highways with little to no regard for the rest of us. The U.S. Department of Transportation estimates that over 500,000 wrecks occur each year involving big trucks. If you or a loved one have been hit and injured by a big truck, then don't wait any longer. Call me today. I'll stand up to these big truck companies, and I will fight for you.
Call Kenneth Ingram Jr. now.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be provided is greater than that of other attorneys.
Purchasing a home can sometimes be overwhelming. Instead, it should be an exciting time for you and your family. Hi, I'm Angela Van Houten with Century 21 Lake Area Realty. I want to help you find the home or property that perfectly fits your needs. With over 15 years of experience in real estate, I am proud to serve the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Call or text me today, 256-596-0566, or find me on the web at angelavanhouten.com and let me help you find the home you've always dreamed of.
The Alexander City Chamber of Commerce is proud to announce the 2015 headliner for Sun Festival Alexander City, David Nail. At the Charles E. Bailey Sportplex in Alexander City on Saturday, July 25th.
Whatever she's got.
Along with another spectacular Winn-Dixie fireworks show. See Sun Festival Alexander City on Facebook or go to alexandercity.org for more information.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, Sign Source has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. Sign Source.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 93.9, WTGZ, Union Springs, Montgomery, and Auburn, and AM 620 WTRP, LaGrange.
In an hour, winner goes to the World Cup final on Sunday. Loser plays in the third place game Saturday in Edmonton. Sunday, the World Cup final will take place in Vancouver, but FIFA President Sepp Blatter is not going to be there. FIFA announced today he will not attend to deal with FIFA matters in Switzerland. Nike Chairman Phil Knight is going to be stepping down. He says he wants President and CEO Mark Parker to succeed him as chairman. A new chairman is expected to be named in 2016. Mets today activated infielder Daniel Murphy from the 15-day DL. Rangers did the same with outfielder Josh Hamilton. Sonny Gray scratched from his start tonight for Oakland because of an illness as they face the Rockies. Kentucky's John Calipari denying reports he was in talks with the Kings to run their front office and be their head
This
coach.
new Viva Locos menu. I'm using my super analytical skills to decipher its contents. In layman terms, that means I'm in the process of eating everything on the menu. Then I'll report. For the time being, I'll simply tell you some of what I'm sampling from Viva Loco's menu and tempt your Mexicana side. Let's start with guacamole and chips. If you want to be a sophisticate, you can say guacamole. Your server will think you drove up from old Mexico just to eat at Loco's. We have the fajita quesadilla with either chicken or steak. There's the fish tacos with your choice of fried or blackened fish. The chicken torta. And since torta is generally a hearty sandwich, this will be fried chicken on a sub roll with onions and jalapenos in the mix. And if you really want to go healthy, Viva Locos offers the chicken mango salad and chicken mango wrap. Most of these dishes come with a side of something, so I've got to learn how to say onion rings in Spanish, and also determine if it's even polite to have French fries with Mexicana food. So lots of new reasons to meet me at the Moose. Viva Locos Grill and Pub.
United Auto Collision is now open in their new location at Glen Smith on Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Get complete frame and body repair, factory and custom paint jobs, and they offer free estimates. All United Auto Collision work is guaranteed, and all insurance companies are accepted. Go see Ed Tankersley and a friendly staff that has over 30 years experience today at United Auto Collision, 620 Columbus Parkway in Opelika, or give them a call at 334-203-1535.
Where is it? Hey, this is my hard hat.
Your what?
My hard hat. I'm going to go buy textbooks.
Is that supposed to make sense?
There's a lot of construction downtown. Safety first, you know? I'll walk down there and I'll wear my hard hat just in case.
Why walk?
Come on, dude. There's even less parking than usual with all that work they're doing. Found it.
Why don't you just go to the Big Blue Bookstore? There's no construction and plenty of parking. You could even ride the Tiger Transit over there if you need.
But I just found my hat.
The Big Blue Bookstore on South College Street in Auburn with a friendly, knowledgeable staff and a post office on site. Go Big Blue with the Big Blue Bookstore.
Is Select from Budweiser full flavored or light?
South Carolina.
You see, Select is made with premium ingredients, so it's full flavored.
North Carolina at home.
It's also brewed to be light and refreshing. It's not a craft beer.
No, they actually opened up with them in
crafted.
Charlotte.
So is Select from Budweiser a light beer or
You
just
gonna
a
say a
really
win?
good beer?
I'll say a win.
You got it.
Kentucky.
Select. Be selective. Enjoy responsibly.
At home or
Select
yes,
light
at
beer.
home?
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
We're coming to you live
At
from
Georgia.
the WTK
No, they haven't.
News Chopper,
I'm
where we
gonna
are on
say
the hunt
live,
for
yeah.
the legendary TK's convenience store. Said to
Central
have the best
Florida.
deals on goods like 20-ounce Pepsis, 2 for
Barely.
$2.50, Woodbridge wine,
At
1.5
Missouri.
liters for $9.99, and all your daily necessities,
go
as well
L.
as the most competitive prices on gas.
Yeah,
Brand
L
names
there.
like Texaco,
You going there?
Valero, and Chevron. It is believed to have the cleanest store to better get you in and out of
LSU
flash.
at home, it
With
don't
great
matter.
deals like
Lost.
those, the only place to go is TK's convenience store. And they were
Vanderbilt
founded
at
with
home.
15 locations to better serve you. There is no way you can't find one of
What do you
these
think
great
they'll do against
stores.
Oakland?
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by
At
Reinhardt
Texas
Craft
A&M.
Bill, located on Cobb's
Lost.
Ford Road, 334-290-1992.
I got 'em with a loss,
Visit us
too,
online at
don't you?
reinhardtcraftbill.com.
At Tennessee,
Craft
lost.
Bill. We sell to sell again.
Florida at home. I got that one.
You better buckle your seatbelt because it's going to be a show to watch.
From Tiger Communications.
Clemson.
For
Lost.
20 years, East Alabama's sports talk leader.
Swing and drive. Mountain right.
Sports
Got
Call.
the 5 and 7.
Call in now at 887-3401 local.
I got the 6 and 2.
Or 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll free. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Sports Call.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon. Andy Graham and Brett Pritchard here with you until 6 o'clock, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free or locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. A lot to talk about today. Of course, the United States women will get underway in about an hour, a little bit less than an hour now, as they take on Germany in the semifinals of the Women's World Cup. That one 6 p.m. on Fox. Be sure to tune into that. Should be a very exciting
They gonna
game.
win?
I'm going to say yes.
You're going to say the women pull it out over
I'm
Germany?
going to tell you, brother, I watched that Germany-France game.
Boy, that was a
It
slugfest.
was
wasn't it?
brutal. I mean, there were women coming off bleeding every 5 minutes. I mean, yellow cards.
I don't think there's any love lost between those two countries.
Yellow cards galore in that game. Germany, they're playing to win. I think they're the number one ranked team in the country. I mean, the world right now. The United States number 2. So you got number 1 versus number 2 tonight. This probably should have been the World Cup championship game, but it worked out this way. Japan and England playing tomorrow. Again, Auburn will take over the SEC network tomorrow. We'll run down that schedule. I promised we would. We'll get to that eventually, but some other things have come up along the way. And one of those things being running down some of the team schedules in the SEC and kind of determining what their schedule we feel like will be, just kind of off the cuff here, not really not studying it too much, just first impressions. We looked at Texas A&M in the first hour. I had them going 8-4. Brett had them going 6-6. We'll kind of look at South Carolina.
I think I've fallen into a vacuum. I may have everybody going 500, but we'll start. And the Gamecocks open up in Charlotte with North Carolina. Your thoughts on that game?
A Gene Chizik-led defense from the Tar Heels.
Maybe I picked it for a reason. Maybe I picked it the way I picked it for a reason.
Well, Gene, I think Gene was out of his element a little bit as a head coach, but he was always a pretty good defensive coordinator. I never thought he was great, but I thought he was pretty good.
Faith in him to get it done.
Larry Fedora, they will probably move the ball a little bit, and South Carolina usually struggles in opening games, but they usually win them. So I give South Carolina the win there.
Yeah, I do. We both got them defeating the Tar Heels and starting off the season with a W. Then they welcome in Kentucky.
That's pretty much a toss-up to me, but I'm going to say South Carolina wins.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a win there, too. So we got the Gamecocks going 2-0. Then they got to go to Georgia, Andy, and both of us have an L there.
Yeah, just when you think South Carolina can beat Georgia, they do.
They do every time.
But I'm on it. The smart money says Georgia at home.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Then Central Florida comes in to Williams-Brice, a win there.
Not an easy team, but, yeah.
I think they pull it off.
I think they'll get it done.
Go to Missouri, two-time defending Eastern Division champs in the Missouri Tigers. Your thoughts?
I think Missouri will win that game. I think, at home, you got a third-year starter at quarterback. The defense, they always seem to plug in good defensive linemen. I think on the road it may just be too much for South Carolina.
They really go on a brutal stretch here. They got an open date a few weeks later, but LSU, and then Vanderbilt. We got them, with the L against LSU. Got them both, we both have them with a win against Vanderbilt. Then they get to their open date, and so we both have them with 4-3 records at the break. Then comes Texas A&M on the road and Tennessee on the road, and we both have them with a loss there.
Yeah, I'm thinking Texas A&M was probably an 8-win team. I'm not sure about Tennessee. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
A lot of hype on the Vols.
There again, Spurrier always seems to play well on the road in Knoxville, but I don't think South Carolina gets it done.
I don't either. And then Florida comes to town, a newly led Florida team, a revamped Florida team, a piece-milled Florida team, however you want to look at it. I've got South Carolina pulling out a win over his old team there.
I'm saying a three-game losing streak.
Wow, that's pretty tough there as they drop one to Florida late in the season. Citadel, we both give them a win there, and then they close with their rival Clemson.
I think they broke the streak last year. Clemson got it done, so that the fear is over of we can't beat Spurrier in Clemson. I think Clemson gets it done again.
I do too. I give them an L there. So that puts in my record book a 6-6 season for the Gamecocks, barely bowl eligible. You have them at 5-7 and not bowl eligible. That's a big blow. It'll be the first time Steve Spurrier hasn't been able to get over the hump and have a winning season. Is that the start of the end of Steve Spurrier at South Carolina?
Well, several weeks ago, I wrote a column and made some, bold, ridiculously early predictions for the college football season. And one of them was that Steve Spurrier would struggle mightily here in this season and get so frustrated that he ends up calling it quits and ends up coaching high school football somewhere in the state of Florida as he goes about his merry way. So, I think this could be one of those type seasons where he just says, it kind of comes to the end of his rope, because last year some of those press conferences were just hilarious. And, now he ends up we'll see what he does this season. But if he goes through a 5-7, I'm not sure how much more of that he could take.
I don't either, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But so far, we've done one team from the West, South Carolina from the East, Texas A&M from the West. We're looking at mediocre seasons for both of them. You're not thinking so much mediocre for Texas A&M. You're thinking 8-4 with a possibility of, if things go right, going all the way to 10. You think their low is a 6-6. I think their high is probably 7, maybe 8 wins. I think their high may be 8-4. You've got them. I mean, I've got them. I don't think they'll go below 6-6. I think that's their low there. On South Carolina, may be able to pull one win out somewhere and go 7-5. What's your ceiling on the Gamecocks?
Ooh, I think it's probably 7, maybe
7-5.
I think maybe if everything went right, they found a dynamic quarterback, they could possibly win 8. But I think maybe 4 might be the low. That's pretty bad.
That's horrible. If that happens, that'll be a definite blow to the Gamecock fan base over there. Well, I'll let you do the honors and pick the next team from the Western Division, Andy, before we head into break, up against another break here. But which team would you like to look at from the Western Division?
Let's look at LSU.
Look at the LSU Tigers. A lot of hype around. A lot of hype, but there's also a lot of question marks around this LSU team. Very talented team. Can they get a quarterback to step up and be the playmaker that they need them to be? Can Auburn go down to Baton Rouge and get a win for the first time since 1999? Since 1999, Tommy Tuberville's first season at Auburn's the last time Auburn went to LSU and won a ball game. So it's been a long time. 8 trips down to Baton Rouge with no win. Can they get it done the 9th trip? We'd love to hear from you.
I believe that was a Jerry DiNardo coached LSU team.
Was it Jerry DiNardo in 99?
I believe so. Saban came in 2000, I believe.
There we go. That's been many moons ago. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 334-887-3401. We'll break the LSU Tigers down next.
Yeah, that might explain why Auburn won that game.
Maybe it is.
Just quickly, as we got.
You remember what happened in that game? To start that game off?
Well, Ronnie Daniels.
No, the flip over the shoulder.
That was the going into halftime, was it not?
That's exactly right. No. That was right at the beginning of the game.
The fake field goal?
Yeah, right at the beginning. Flipped it over the shoulder.
I was thinking that was right before we went into half, but
no.
I know Ronnie Daniels caught one across the middle and just got obliterated, fumbled.
And then picked it up.
And then the ball just kept squirming around, and he ended up recovering at about the 10-yard line.
Just a crazy game.
Unbelievable. Just as we close out the minute, with about a minute in this segment, Auburn will take over the SEC tomorrow. The schedule looks like this: 11 p.m. tonight. If you're going to watch the 2006 Auburn, Florida, that was a great game. That was a block punt. Trey Smith bounding into the end zone. That was a great one. At 1 o'clock in the morning, 2014 Auburn, Alabama soccer game. 2:30 in the morning, 99 Auburn Ole Miss men's basketball game. That was a great game. That was one of the best Auburn basketball games you'll ever watch.
I was there. I was
set your DVR for that.
I was on press row for that one.
I wish that one was not at 2:30. I'd actually like to watch that one. But 4:30 a.m. 2015 Auburn, Alabama softball game this year. Then they'll play You Don't Know Bo at 6:30. 8 a.m. 1982 Auburn, Alabama Iron Bowl, the first one that broke the streak. 10 a.m. 2015 Auburn, Tennessee softball game, the one they won the SEC tournament this year. At noon, 2003 Iron Bowl. That Go Crazy Cadillac. After you see the first play, I'm not sure why you continue to watch that game, but it was a good Auburn win in a very disappointing season. 2 p.m. 2011 BCS National Championship game. I think I've already still got that one recorded. So 4 p.m. 2015 Auburn LSU men's basketball game this year. A big upset as Auburn went down to Baton Rouge. At 6 p.m., though, tomorrow night, This Is Auburn. This is a War Eagle production, kind of just chronicling why Auburn's great. Athletics, community, the impact, everything that goes as a part of being a student at Auburn and a fan of Auburn University. And then 7 o'clock, they'll replay the 2013, or they'll play the 2013 Iron Bowl. obviously the Kick Six, and then a replay of This Is Auburn. And at 10 o'clock to close out the night, Bo Barkley and the Big Hurt. We'd love to get your thoughts on that as Auburn takes over the SEC Network tomorrow. We'll be back with more Sports Call right after this.
Let me tell you about Satterfield. Check out the beautiful showroom at Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alexander City. They have a great selection of outdoor grilling lines for your entertainment needs. Name brands like Big Green Egg, Lynx, Blaze, and Sabre are just a few. How about those grill basins? Also, lawn equipment by Shindawa, Echo, and Husqvarna. Power tools by Makita, and a great line of Carhartt clothing. All of this in one location. Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alexander City. Stop by and visit today. Satterfield.
Alex City Food Shop is now your local Shell station, located on the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280. Stop by and experience performance that excites with Shell V-Power gasoline. No other gasoline protects better than Shell nitrogen-enriched gasoline by cleaning performance-robbing gunk from intakes and fuel injectors. And we now accept Winn-Dixie Fuel Perks and Fuel Rewards Network cards so you can save on fuel purchases. See store for details. State-of-the-art touch-free car wash, snacks, cold drinks, ice, and much more for your tailgating needs. Alex City Food Shop on the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280, where we're always open and appreciate your business.
So, you're a business owner in need of durable, comfortable work uniforms and hats. Or maybe your high school won the section championship and you want to celebrate with custom t-shirts. Or perhaps you'd like matching tees and hats for your family reunions barbecue. At Lee Apparel, we offer you a full-service production facility right here in Central Alabama. From design to printing, every aspect of your order is taken care of here with real people. Find out more at leeapparel.com or call us at 888-533-6758.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Rutalisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
Lyman Ward Military Academy in Camp Hill, Alabama, known worldwide for programs and outstanding facilities designed to prepare young men for future success. Young men who are academically prepared for a rapidly evolving economy, morally prepared through character development and spiritual guidance, physically challenged by preparing for athletic competition, and prepared to be leaders in their careers through the structure of military discipline. Lyman Ward Military Academy, over a century of preparing youth for the work of life.
If you're looking for the best chicken fingers or wings in town, then look no further than JR's Sports Bar and Grill in Alex City. Order my favorite, the Wing Basket, or try an awesome burger, quesadilla, crab claws, or dig into a healthy and delicious salad. JR's offers daily lunch specials that save you money without sacrificing on taste. Check out their Facebook page for daily lunch specials. JR's can also cater any special event from weddings to tailgate parties and has a huge party room for any special occasion. Stop by soon at JR's Sports Bar and Grill at their location right off Highway 22 in Alex City.
Big trucks control our highways with little to no regard for the rest of us. The U.S. Department of Transportation estimates that over 500,000 wrecks occur each year involving big trucks. If you or a loved one have been hit and injured by a big truck, then don't wait any longer. Call me today. I'll stand up to these big truck companies and I will fight for you.
Call Kenneth Ingram Jr. now.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be provided is greater than that of other attorneys.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply.
I didn't know a baseball tournament going on this weekend.
There's
some kind of baseball tournament going on in Sportscall. What was that? Is that All-Star? It's
All-Star. Product knowledge. All right,
McNeese State.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply have you covered.
At Mississippi State.
I had State losing that game.
We ain't done Mississippi State. LSU.
I thought we did
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by
Texas A&M
Kenneth
and
Ingram
South Carolina.
Training. For almost 30 years,
I'll just go down the
attorney
list.
Kenneth Ingram Jr. has been getting results for his clients through personal injury, wrongful death, and medical negligence. Just to name a few. Contact him today at 256-212-9700 or online at ingramlaw.net.
Welcome back to Sports Call on this Tuesday afternoon. Andy and Brett here with you for about 39 more minutes, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9.
Mr. Precise over there.
1-888-9, Tiger 9, toll free locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. Sports Call today brought to you by Lee Marketing Group. For logo design and branding to ad placement, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution. Be sure to check them out at leemarketing.net. And we'll continue on with our running down the schedules, kind of at first glance, first impressions of what we think the records will be. And we had Texas A&M, we had South Carolina. Now we'll look at LSU.
LSU, and what do they have coming in, and how will it play out for the Bengal Tigers this year? A lot of people don't really know. They got them all over the map here, and let's go ahead and jump into it. They open up with McNeese State at home. I think we both give them a win there. Andy, then they go on the road to Mississippi State. This will be a pivotal game in the SEC West. Early contest for both of these teams, early test for both of these teams in Starkville. Mississippi State got it done last year over LSU. What happens this year?
I think I'm with you. I think LSU pays them back this year. I think they really took it on the chin in Baton Rouge. That was kind of an eye-opener. I think we all kind of looked at Mississippi State a little bit differently for the rest of the season. But I think Mississippi State shows their losses. All those defensive linemen, all those offensive linemen. I think that's going to show up this year. And I think LSU – I believe it'll probably be Brandon Harris, and I think they go up there and make a statement.
Here's an interesting one. Next week, Auburn heads into Death Valley. Again, hasn't won in Death Valley since 1999. Auburn, the trendy pick to win, the SEC this year. Pick to make the playoffs, even a pick to make it to the national championship game. To get it done, I feel like Auburn has to go to LSU and get a win there. And I don't think that kills them by no stretch of the imagination for the rest of the season. But it will be a benchmark game if they can go down there and get a win. I've got Auburn winning that game in Death Valley.
I'm a prove it to me kind of guy. I'm gonna say that's a win for LSU right now. I mean, Auburn has not been able to go up there and get it done. I think they're capable.
Is finally on the Auburn side.
Yeah, you can look at it one of two ways. They're due, or they're never going to get it done.
I do like the 2:30 kickoff, though, other than the 7 or 8 or even 9 o'clock kickoff that we've had to endure for so many times. I'm going to go ahead and put my Auburn glasses on. I'm going to say wishful thinking Auburn goes down there and gets it done. And I just think, based off of and I can't compare year to year. You can't do it, but Auburn thrashed LSU last year at home. Maybe there's a hangover there. Maybe LSU's all fired up, wanting to pay that back. But, I'm a prove it to me kind of guy too, and LSU hadn't proven they got a quarterback. And so we'll see what happens on that side.
If LSU wins that Mississippi State game, this will be the statement of the season, the early season, whichever team wins that game.
No doubt about it. And so moving on, they got to go to Syracuse next for LSU. Got to go all the way to New York. That'll be a win for them. I feel like Eastern Michigan at home, I'll give them a win. You will too. Then they go on the road to South Carolina. We've already talked about that. It didn't matter where they play them, on the moon, wherever. I feel like LSU gets it done there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you got that one written down as a W as well. Florida Gators come into Death Valley. What do you think there?
I'm going to give LSU the nod.
Too. Give them the nod over McElwain's Florida Gators. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, can't get it done.
They win.
Yep, another win there, and then they're open. So right now, getting to their open date, you've got LSU
undefeated
with eight wins. I've got them with 7. I've got them 7-1. You got them at 8-0, heading in to the Alabama game at Alabama, setting up regardless if they're 7-1, 8-0, a big matchup again, Andy.
That's a loss for LSU.
Going to give the Bengal Tigers a loss in Tuscaloosa. I'm going to go with you and say that Alabama wins that game, and LSU drops that one and moves into Arkansas coming in to Death Valley. Your thoughts there? I mean, this is an Arkansas team that lots on their back to prove that they're legitimate this year. I'm going to go ahead and say that Arkansas rolls into LSU and gets a win there. I'm going to put a loss there for the Tigers.
Kind of bump that one up. That's usually the last game of the season.
It is.
Right?
It used to be, but now they've moved that Texas A&M game to that last game.
I'm going to say that they lose that one.
I'm a loss.
I'm going to say that that's the one game that Arkansas, that's the one game they win that they shouldn't.
I'm going to tell you, after their open date's pretty brutal. You know, they got Alabama, Arkansas. Yep. We've got them both losing. Then they got to go to Ole Miss. They got to go to Ole Miss. And I'm telling you, I'm high on Ole Miss this year. I think Ole Miss is a legitimate team, and I think LSU drops 3 in a row there. I think
they beat LSU. I mean, they beat LSU 2 years ago,
yeah,
right?
I just think that they go to – I think LSU rolls over to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss gets it done.
Wow. I'm going to agree with you.
It's 3 losses in a row since the break. And this, look, it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. And the press and the media will be eating LSU alive. They come off that open date with three losses in a row. Final game, Texas A&M. I've got LSU winning that ball game. I've got them coming back. Obviously, I told you that.
I had them losing, right?
You had them losing. No, we both had.
Oh, we had both had them losing.
Yeah, we both had them. We had LSU winning that game.
So they pull an Auburn this year. They start out strong and collapse down the stretch.
They do, and we both give them a win there against Texas A&M to finish out the season. So you've got them at 9-3, and I've got them at 8-4. So 9-3 for you, 8-4 for me. Is that a Mark Richt type of year? Is that what do you do with Les Miles? I mean, that's not going to be good enough to win the Western Division.
I mean, I think it depends on some factors. Does Brandon Harris look like he takes command of the offense? Does
he can't be the Brandon Harris that showed up at Jordan-Hare last year.
No, he's got to be a different guy.
Yeah. Let's go to the AO Tourism Hotline real quick. Terry, you're on Sports Call.
Thanks, gentlemen. I'm going to make a prediction. It's absolutely probably going to be wrong, but I'm going to tell you, I think LSU is going to win the Western Division. I think they're going to beat us in Tuscaloosa, as they always do. And I'm telling you, Les Miles is crazy. He's crazy. But I'm telling you, I think they're rated kind of low. But I'm going to tell you, I think he's going to come out this year, and it's going to surprise a lot of people. I pick LSU to win the Western Division.
That's an interesting pick. I mean, I think they got the talent to do it. It just depends. Again, I'm not a big believer in Kevin Steele. I think the defense will get worse and worse, but who knows? They've certainly got the talent to do it, Terry.
Well, Les is the most unorthodox coach I've ever seen in my life, and I think this year is his year. He's going to come out with not a lot of what is called, great talent, but he is going, I think, and I'm an Alabama fan, but I think that he is going to put it together this year because everybody's expecting him not to be that good. But that's just my pick. We'll wait and see.
Thank you, Terry. We appreciate your call, buddy.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong, too. Thank you, Terry. We appreciate it.
Yeah, well, up against a break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll continue this discussion and take your phone calls when we come back. 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll free locally at 334-887-3401.
It's our summer trade day sale at Carl Gregory Ford. Your trade-in has never been worth more. And right now, get double trade value. That's right. We're doubling the value of your trade up to $15,000. If your trade's worth $3,000, now it's worth $6,000. If it's worth $7,500, now it's worth $15,000. Double your trade value up to $15,000 at Carl Gregory Ford in Auburn. Or visit us online at carlgregoryford.com. If you don't come see us today, we can't save you money. All rebates to the plus tax, title, and tag. Approved credit. Offer expires June 30th, 2015.
The Firing Pin on Pepperell Parkway at Opelika is the area's premier retailer for quality firearms and accessories.
Choose from brands like Glock, HK, SIG, Smith & Wesson, Daniel Defense, and more.
Plus, the Firing Pin now carries reloading supplies. Visit the area's only Class 3 firearms dealer today. The firing pin.
Keep an eye on that one, but I'm going to give them a win.
I am too. That's going to be in the bag.
Gas station. Give them a call at 737-6444. Financing
I'm going to say that's a
available with
lot.
approved credit.
After last year, they got cheated.
The Chop
I'm going
House
to say
Grill is now open on South College
Karma
Street.
turns
Sink your
around.
teeth into one of their homemade patty
Tennessee.
hamburgers, fried catfish,
Law.
pulled pork sandwiches
No, wait, that's
with
at home,
delicious
right?
sides
That's at
like
home.
mac and cheese,
I got
fried green
Tennessee
tomatoes, or
winning that
collard
game.
greens.
They had
all just
won
like
in games
Mama
in a
used to
long
make 'em.
time.
If you're looking for a
I
lighter
got- I'm
gonna
option,
say
try
Tennessee.
one of their great
Yeah.
salads like the Club,
You gonna say
Caesar,
Tennessee?
Gardner,
Yeah,
Strawberry
Tennessee wins.
Fields. Conquer
All right, Ole
your
Miss.
appetite at the Chop House Grill. Open 7
Wow.
days a week at 1936 South College
Yeah, I've
Street
got a
in
blue for
Auburn.
Ole
Like
Miss,
them on
too.
Facebook
At
or
Missouri.
call 502-4050.
Just like a great coach, State Farm
At
agent
LSU.
Tom Bryan at
I've
1819.
got a
blue
loss.
It can help you
Damn,
develop
they're a
game
good
plan
four.
for
You
your
got them on a
insurance needs.
5-game losing
Whether it's
streak.
car,
They don't
home,
beat
life,
Kentucky.
health, or business
Then they get to the
insurance,
Open.
Agent
Then they
Tom
go
Bryan
to
can
Georgia
dig
at
into the
home.
playbook and help you find the
Well,
affordable
Jack.
coverage
Oh,
you
they
need.
doing home and home. It's still
Life
Jackson.
and goals change.
Jackson.
Agent
I mean,
Tom
that's
Bryan will
Jackson
be there
for
to
me.
help you adjust your insurance game plan.
I'm
Free
going to say
insurance
Georgia
check.
pays them back. Yeah.
So for all
That's a
your
lot.
They ain't
insurance
losing
needs,
again.
call on a winner. State
Vandy,
Farm agent
win.
Tom Bryan.
Win.
334-749.
At South Carolina, I've got South Carolina winning.
Don't wait until your air conditioner
have
breaks to
winning?
find a service company.
South
Every
Carolina,
company in
you
town
got,
is locally owned,
you got
experienced,
Florida winning.
honest, and prompt. Just ask them. But instead of just asking
Florida
them,
Atlantic
ask your
win.
friends, family, coworkers, and people you trust.
FSU.
And they'll say, May Refrigeration. If you need your AC serviced or replaced,
All right.
call May at 745-2653. That's
got 'em at
745-COLD.
5-7.
May
You got 'em.
Refrigeration. Serving the air
got
conditioning
'em at
needs of the
5-7.
Auburn Opelika area since 1968. But don't take
That's
our
about
word
right,
for
I
it.
think. That's
Ask
about
around.
right, I think.
Nims Recycling is looking for some metal. If you're looking to unload a washing machine, dryer, pipe, cans,
Just happened
AC
there.
unit, or anything metal, Nims will pay cash for it. That old car you can't get rid of, gone.
That's 4
They'll pay
teams
cash
we
for
broke
it and
it
come
down.
pick it up for free. Plus, they'll drop
And
off a check
you don't
because
have
of job
one of them
sites.
going
So
much
you can
over
sit and
5.
load any
I
scrap metal
don't. I
for
mean,
them to
well,
take
the
away.
LSU. I got
If
LSU 8-4.
you
It's
do
about what I
otherwise,
figured
take
they'll
it to
go.
Nims Recycling, just past the North College
Somebody's
Street
got to come in
intersection on
last.
Highway
I mean, so I got to
280.
be at the bottom.
You got them 9-3. You got Texas A&M winning the national
Honey Baked Ham
championship
isn't
over
just a
here. I
place
mean,
to
that-
get
Yeah,
holiday
8-4,
hams.
that's
Honey
really-
Baked in
well, you
Opelika
got 'em
offers the
going up
best
to
spiral
possible
sauce,
10.
honey glazed ham sandwiches,
If they go to
intake,
10, we're all in
unlimited
trouble.
with their
You gotta
custom
think,
flavored
I mean,
mustards.
what- if
Or if
everything
you're in the
goes
mood for
right.
turkey, you've got to try the ham and turkey with pesto and provolone
everything
on
goes right for
flatbread.
LSU.
And to perfect your meal, choose from a variety of
10
Honey
may
Baked's
still be their
delicious
season.
deli sides. Break away from the boring and experience Honey Baked Ham on Gateway Drive in Opelika today. Pre-order at 741-8411. That's 741-8411. And they'll have it ready when you get there.
Auburn Tire Service is a staple of the community. Family owned and operated since 1956, Auburn Tire Service has evolved from a tire-only store to a complete car care center. They can fix any problem with any car. Just bring it by and let them take a look at it. Auburn Tire Service is an official Napa Auto Care Center, and they promise to get the job done right for you. And make sure to get yourself a drink from their classic Coca-Cola machine while you're there. Auburn Tire Service across from Byron's at 459 Opelika Road in Auburn. Give them a call at 887-8558.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. Andy Graham and Brett Pritchard here with you for about 25 more minutes, taking your phone calls at 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll-free locally at 334-887-3401 on the AO Tourism Hotline. We are here at JR Sports Bar and Grill in downtown Alexander City. Things starting to bump here at JR's. Come on out and get a great meal. Watch whatever. We'll have certainly the women's soccer game on in about 25 minutes, so you can watch the game, get a great meal. Introduce yourself to some great people up here at JR's Sports Bar and Grill. We're running down some of the schedules. We just picked 4 random teams, 2 from the East, 2 from the West. We looked at Texas A&M. We looked at South Carolina. We looked at LSU, and now we're looking at Florida.
Yeah, looking at the Florida Gators and what happens with the Gators. You know, so much talk about Will Muschamp when he left and how the cupboard was bare. And, a lot of people felt like that was the difference in Martez Ivey making the decision to go to Florida versus Auburn, is that they just begged. I mean, they really just – it was like, we got to have you. You're going to start as soon as you get here. And he ends up making that decision. Florida, though, new coach, Jim McElwain. Colorado State did a good job over there, was the offensive coordinator at Alabama, won a national championship there. What can he do with the Florida Gators? We'll run it down. Florida Gators open up with New Mexico State, Andy. on Saturday, September the 5th. That game will be on the SEC Network at 6:30 p.m. New Mexico State. Can they go in and upset Florida? No. Win for Florida. We both have that. Then they have East Carolina coming in the next Saturday. That game will actually be on ESPN2 at 6 o'clock. So
I put an asterisk by that one. I don't sleep on East Carolina, but right now I'm going to give Florida the win.
I'll give Florida the win there as well. And then first conference game will be on the road at Kentucky on Saturday, September 19th. That, too, will be televised on the SEC Network at 6:30 p.m.
I think karma pays a visit to Lexington, Kentucky. They upset Florida. Well, I don't even know if it'll be an upset, to be honest with you. But I think they get it done. After Kentucky feels like they got robbed last year in Gainesville, it's the same way this year. They actually defeat Florida to start the conference season.
I'll go opposite of you. I think they go to Kentucky and get the win, start off the conference season 1-0. Then they welcome Tennessee, one of their rivals, into Ben Hill Griffin Stadium on Saturday, September the 26th. That kickoff time has not been announced yet, but I have the Tennessee Vols coming in and knocking off Florida.
It'll be the first time Tennessee wins in Gainesville in quite a while, but I like Tennessee.
That was the game last year nobody wanted to win.
That's true.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
A lot of those games have been ugly the last 4 or 5 years. They really have. I think Tennessee gets it done.
So a loss there for both. This is where we both kind of agree that Florida goes on, starts to take some lumps coming down the stretch. They have Ole Miss come in. We both have a loss there. They go on the road 2 consecutive weeks. Missouri and LSU, both of us say loss there for the Gators.
Yeah, so I have them on a 4-game losing streak.
You have them on a 5-game losing streak.
Not the way they wanted to start the season, but
you got them at 2-5 as they head into their break.
I mean, obviously they could pull a win at Missouri, and it's possible. But those Florida LSU games are always close. But
I don't think
first
so.
impression, I'm not.
They
a believer.
got a lot to prove. I do think the cupboard's bare down there. I don't think there's a lot left at Florida, and I don't think they have a lot to work with. So we have them at 2-5. You have them at 2-5 going into the open week. I've got them at 3-4. The difference, I've got them beating Kentucky, and you got them losing. Coming down the stretch, they've got Georgia and Jacksonville, biggest cocktail party. We both have an L there for Florida. Georgia comes back and gets it done after an embarrassing loss last year, a loss they shouldn't have endured over a Will Muschamp team that was kind of flailing. We both give them a loss there, and then we both give them a win at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt comes in actually.
I don't think we have Vanderbilt winning the game.
I don't think Vanderbilt. We may have them as losses all the way down. We got to watch that. Then they got to go to South Carolina. I got Florida losing that game. You got them winning.
I think that, seems like every year every team gets at least one game where they go on the road. There's always that Florida, Spurrier matchup. He may overcoach that game, and I just feel like Florida may pull one upset this year.
Florida Atlantic, there's a win. And FSU finishes it off. Rival game, actually close game
just by
last
sheer
year.
talent alone, I think Florida State wins that game.
I do too, and that puts them in. So we'll count it up here. And I've got Florida with 5 wins and 7 losses, and you have Florida with 5 wins and 7 losses on the season. So
that sounds about right. I
think it's spot on, actually, Andy. Just initial look. Anything can happen. You can have injuries, and things can vary and change. But I just looking at it on the surface, I see Florida about a 5-7 team.
Yeah,
what'd they do? Go to the Birmingham Bowl last year?
Yeah, I believe so.
They lost a lot of players. Vernon Hargraves, the second, or was it the third?
I think the
third. I left a Roman numeral off. You've got some players that they like, a new coach, a new scheme, the things that are going to be coming in there. 5-7. I don't think Florida fans are really expecting a lot this year, are they?
No, I think they've got some talent on the defensive side of the ball. That was never the problem.
Never the problem was defense.
I think some consistency on offense will do them a lot of good. I think they probably have a big bounce in year number 2, but you got to find a quarterback. You got to find, you got to hope Martez Ivy pans out to be the guy that they hope that he is. So recruiting has never been a problem for Florida, and and defensive, prowess has never been a problem, at least during the Will Muschamp year. So I just think this is a growing year. This is this is a transition year, and the record will reflect that.
Well, we've broken down 4 SEC teams, Andy, out of the 14 in the Southeastern Conference, 2 from each division. Kind of a recap here: Texas A&M, I have them going 6-6. You've got them going 8-4. LSU, you've got them going 9-3. I've got LSU going 8-4. And then over in the Eastern Division, I've got South Carolina going 6-6. You got them at 5-7. We both have Florida at 5-7. So only one opponent there, actually 2 there for Auburn. You got Texas A&M and LSU on the schedule there, and I've got Auburn winning both of those ball games.
Well, if that's the East and those are the sellers, well, I mean, you're going to have Vanderbilt, who may not win a conference game.
I mean, I don't think that's unrealistic.
No, I think that's actually likely probably to happen. What about Kentucky? I mean, we haven't looked at their schedule, but they're going to have to, are they going to be ahead of South Carolina and Florida this year?
I think those are pivotal games for all those teams. I think the Kentucky game is a swing game for South Carolina, Florida, for themselves. I mean, those games and vice versa. Andy, I think Kentucky could easily win those games, and I think obviously Kentucky can beat Kentucky and lose both of them. But I don't think it's a given for any of those teams. You can probably put them all in a hat and shake them up and pull one out.
Certainly Georgia, Missouri, and Tennessee look like maybe the class of the East, at least at maybe a first glance. So
I don't think you can ignore Missouri anymore. I think Missouri is a team that we've been proving over the last couple of years. Now, they've had to have some help now. Georgia's had to fall on their face, and they have. But Missouri, has whatever you want to say about them, have made it to the SEC championship game 2 years in a row now. They've been throttled both times by Auburn and Alabama, but they have made it there. I think Georgia's missed some golden opportunity. I think Georgia's been the best team in the East, but Missouri's happened to make it through the East.
Well, Georgia can't beat – I mean, you look back last year and they lost to South Carolina
and Georgia
and
Florida.
2 of the worst teams in the East. So, I don't know how you explain Georgia. They win, they lose those games that they absolutely should have and no business losing. And we'll see if that continues this year. Again, if they lose that game early to South Carolina, it doesn't really matter what they do from there on out because they've already put themselves in such a hole. So, certainly Georgia will be the favorite just because they've got the most talent. They've got Nick Chubb. They got a great offensive line, but they'll have to get it done. It's prove it to me kind of guy.
1-888-9-334-887-3401. We're getting close to football season, folks. In a couple of 3 weeks, actually, it'll be SEC Media Days, and then, boy, it'll be 9 Saturdays until the start of college football, and Auburn will open up. Well, Louisville, obviously, you and I will save Auburn and Alabama till last on our predictions there. We'll continue to break the SEC down, and we'll have one more segment here on this show. We won't do any more teams today, but then we'll come back. I'll be back with you on Friday, Andy, and you and I will pick 4 more teams that we'll go through and decide. And you can get Randy's take on this on Thursday, kind of get his take on the teams that we've already broken down. And add his prediction in there to see where he thinks Texas A&M, South Carolina, LSU, and Florida will stand. But I just think all 4 of those teams are wild card type teams. It's kind of why we picked them to start off our discussion. I just think those teams, the seasons really could veer drastically in one direction or the other.
And I think we'll find out early in a lot of those situations which way it's going to go. Just a couple of more minutes here in this final segment to kind of bounce around a little bit. Bo Ryan announcing that he's going to retire after next season. Coming off back-to-back Final Four appearances. He definitely got an old-school kind of way of coaching, but I was definitely surprised. And but, again, he's 67 years old, but I hate to kind of see him go.
He's a great basketball coach. I know Wisconsin will hate to see him go, but, there comes a time for everybody in their mind when they feel like, hey, look, I've done about all I can do. I know he would have loved to have won at least one of those, won a national championship. But to make it 2 consecutive Final Fours, to have the player of the year in Frank Kaminsky is he's done a well of a job at Wisconsin.
And he denied Kentucky a perfect season.
Yes, he did. So
that probably belongs on the resume as well.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And I think probably a lot of people remember that more than that Duke won the national championship.
He coached in Division II for about 15 years. He'd been at Wisconsin, I think, for 14 years, 357 and 125. He's had a great impact. Again, he, like him or hate him, he at the end of in the Final Four, he said, look, we don't do rental play. He's got his own way of doing things. He's an old school guy. Some people didn't appreciate that, but hey, I respect him for it.
Give him credit.
Up against the break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with one final segment of the Tuesday Sports Call, presented by Lee Marketing Group, right after this.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
Videos have always been the best way to teach, amaze, and amuse people. With the advent of YouTube, companies big and small are producing videos that sell, promote, and increase conversion rates. Videos engage your customers, meaning more visibility, more customers, and revenue for your business. How do you get your video to stand out amongst all those customers and garner the most attention? R&B Media Video Production. Find out more at www.rnbmedia.com.
Home Place Mortgage of Auburn has the team to tailor all of your mortgage needs. With Home Place Mortgage, you get fast, personalized service from East Central Alabama's best team. Whether it's a new home purchase, refinance, or cash out, Home Place has all the options with fast turnaround and the market's lowest rates.
Hey, this is Eric McKinley with Home Place Mortgage. Call us for all of your mortgage needs.
Call Home Place Mortgage of Auburn at 334-521-7600 today. 334-521-7600.
Lyman Ward Military Academy in Camp Hill, Alabama, known worldwide for programs and outstanding facilities designed to prepare young men for future success. Young men who are academically prepared for a rapidly evolving economy, morally prepared for character development and spiritual guidance, physically challenged by preparing for athletic competition, and prepared to be leaders in their careers through the structure of military discipline. Lyman Ward Military Academy, over a century of preparing youth for the work of life.
From cruises and resorts to land tours and completely packaged vacations, Ruta Lisa Anderson of Cruise Planners specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation just for you. Visit exotic destinations, Alaska, Europe, Hawaii, and more. Visit exclusivecruiseplanners.com or call Ruta Lisa Anderson of Cruise Planners today, toll free at 844-722-6342.
There's no doubt that high school and college athletics rule the state of Alabama. Increase exposure for your business by spending your advertising dollars on the best sports programming in Alabama. With Sports Blitz, Sportscall, and the AHSAA radio network. In a sports-hungry state like Alabama, Sports Blitz, Sportscall, and the AHSAA radio network will offer your business the best return on investment. We have packages designed to fit any budget. Call today, 256-794-8223.
Let me tell you about Satterfield. Check out the beautiful showroom at Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alexander City. They have a great selection of outdoor grilling lines for your entertainment needs. Name brands like Big Green Egg, Lynx, Blaze, and Sabre are just a few. How about those grill basins? Also, lawn equipment by Shindawa, Echo, and Husqvarna. Power tools by Makita, and a great line of Carhartt clothing. All of this in one location. Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alexander City. Stop by and visit today. Satterfield.
Purchasing a home can sometimes be overwhelming. Instead, it should be an exciting time for you and your family. Hi, I'm Angela Van Houten with Century 21 Lake Area Realty. I want to help you find the home or property that perfectly fits your needs. With over 15 years of experience in real estate, I am proud to serve the Lake Martin and surrounding areas. Call or text me today, 256-596-0566, or find me on the web at angelavanhouten.com and let me help you find the home you've always dreamed of.
This segment of Sports Call is brought to you by Resource Natural Spring Water. Resource is 100% natural spring water with naturally occurring electrolytes that support a lifestyle of well-being. When you need to refresh, revitalize, and replenish, it's always Resource Natural Spring Water.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the final segment of the Tuesday Sports Call. Andy and Brett taking you home to 6 o'clock. Still time to get that final phone call in. 1-888-9-TIGER-9 toll-free. Locally at 334-887-3401 on the Auburn Opelika Tourism Hotline as we finish out the last few minutes of today's show. Russell Wilson, it's kind of funny. You think about it. Seattle has really just they stumbled into something that other NFL teams just couldn't even dream of. You get a Russell Wilson, and you get him the way the contracts work now for rookies, and he's making $1 million a year, and he's led you to a couple of Super Bowls, won one, and now all of a sudden it's time for him to get paid. And he says, or at least it's reportedly, he is maybe seeking to become the highest paid NFL player in the game.
Do you blame him? Look, hold on a minute. Do you blame him? I mean, for what he's done, what biding his time, proving that he can get it done when a lot of people said he couldn't. And what in this dog-eat-dog world and all these other athletes, we see a ton of them get paid that, in my opinion, don't. If there's one that deserves getting paid a lot of money, it'd be Russell Wilson.
That's probably, it was reportedly $5 million, 5-year, $110 million, wanting $50 million of it guaranteed. Does he deserve a contract like a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning right now in his career?
Who's been better than him the last 3 years?
The way that this seems to work, though, the way I've just watched sports for so long now, anytime
they sign
a young guy has a great beginning and then somebody offers him a ton of money, that's it. I mean, Seattle will never be back to the Super Bowl. I mean, it just seems like that's the way it works. So
hadn't happened for Tom Brady like that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was never a big deal. I mean, it was never like he said, demanded, I need to pay this. You always hear about Tom Brady saying, I'll take less money if you'll sign this guy or that guy, and so I don't begrudge Russell Wilson
exactly what you're saying.
For wanting to say, pay me what the league, dictates. You cannot argue with his success, but I don't know. I think that's I've watched sports for too long.
No, I'm dead with you. I mean, it's a pattern. I mean, it's almost like finally I've arrived. I've gotten what I need. I don't have to. And I don't think Russell Wilson's that guy. I think he'll continue to work hard. I think he's that kind of player. But I just think he looks around and he sees what some other guys have made and what they've been paid. And he thinks, look, I mean, look at what I've done for this franchise. And I put Seattle, in the top echelon of NFL, franchises. And, I'm the reason they're here. I mean, I'm that guy. I'm the reason that they're here. So I just think that's his rationale. And look, in NFL football, it's different than basketball and baseball. Those things aren't guaranteed. You got to negotiate to get guaranteed money, and it is a brutal sport. And you don't know at any moment when your career could be over. He wants that money up front. I think he's a smart guy. He wants to take care of his and his family, him and his family. And, I can't say at this point in time I don't blame him.
It'll be interesting to see if Seattle kind of takes the New England Patriots approach that say, well, no one player will make this team. I mean, you
is anybody else willing to pay him that? Is anybody else willing to pay him that out there?
I believe yes.
You do.
I believe they'd line up to.
So if that's the case, Andy, it should be a no-brainer for Seattle because the thing that you've got to have in the NFL is a quarterback, and they've got one in Russell Wilson. He's a doggone good quarterback, smart, very athletic. I know he's undersized, but he's proven that doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, if that's the case, and you think there's several franchises out there lining up to sign Russell Wilson, to me, it's you sit down and you get the deal done now.
But you got to think about this. They've been able, because they only had to pay him $1.5 million a year, they've had enough money to go out and buy all this defensive help and all these receivers for him.
What's Richard
when you're
Sherman
paying him $25 million a year. You don't have that money to pay anybody else. The team gets worse.
It's a addition.
That's the way the world. That's the way the world goes.
But you got to figure out what's more important. Can you get a guy to replace Russell Wilson? Is the rest of your team, the nucleus of your team, good enough to not have Russell Wilson on that team, and you can get by without it?
Another story making the rounds today. What in the world do you make of this Phil Mickelson? $2.75 million being laundered in a betting scheme. It says that he's not under investigation. He's not been charged with anything personally, but I mean, that's just, last year it was insider trading. Now it's this.
Seems like there's something that comes up, then there was something several years back about him, maybe some, indiscretions in his personal life with he and his wife, and some stuff went on.
Smells like there's a dead cat in the woodpile.
It just when things continue to surface, over and over, there's, where there's a little smoke, there's got to be some kind of spark somewhere. I mean, nothing proven yet, but it just seems like these little stories
it's
consistently creep up all the time.
Financial issues, when you got as much money as they do, I mean, you can get in. It's like the coaches, Tuberville and several of the other coaches got taken.
And all these investment things.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that could happen, but it seems like betting, it seems to come up a lot with Mickelson. He put down I remember in 2001, he put down like $10,000 for the Diamondbacks to win the World Series because he was getting some crazy odds, and they ended up winning it. I mean, it just seems like his name revolves around betting a little bit too much.
You know what? I don't hold him as much accountable for that as heck, Floyd Mayweather bets millions of dollars at a time, throws money around like it's cheap paper,
puts a $100 bill in his mouthpiece. That's going to do it for us today on the Tuesday edition of Sports Call. We appreciate so much.
Knock that mouthpiece out.
We appreciate all of you out there joining us. Will and Bill will be back with you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. For Brett Pritchard, I'm Andy Graham saying so long for now. We'll talk again soon. Wolf it down, Scott.
Where's the charter? Where's the charter remote at? Whatever.